Hey guys, welcome back to Glenna's World of Coloring. Today I thought we would do a color and chat at a Bob Ross color by number. This is one of my favorite books, so I figured why not. And I do have a color key here for my Sanjoki alcohol markers, and that is what I am using today. So I figured that we would just go through the book a page at a time. So we're just gonna move on to that next page in the book. Alright, so up here starts with 18, and that is what I'm going to start with. So I'm gonna zoom you right in. Alright, so 18 is number 68. Let's see. 68. Might take me a minute because I don't remember which one that was. Oh, here we go. Turquoise blue, number 68. Alright. So, how is everyone? Hopefully good. We're doing pretty good here. This is a really pretty color. Okay. And these markers are brush tips. So you can kind of get into smaller areas with them. And I'm not too worried about going out of the lines here, because I'm just going to be coloring over it anyway, but still, I mean, I need to focus more on what I'm doing here. Alright. Hope everybody's doing pretty good. It's gonna be a heck of a week. I gotta go back to work tomorrow, sadly. I mean, I guess it's alright, because I make money, but I mean, working retail, you barely make anything. So, yeah. Not really a whole lot of a point to even be there, but yeah. And my dad's work are too stupid to hire anyone. They're on a hiring freeze. I should have already been there, but apparently when they were supposed to call me, they didn't call me. Or if they did, I just didn't know it. But I'm pretty sure that they did not. They swear up and down they did, but I never got a phone call about anything like that. So either they're idiots and they didn't call, or they're idiots and they called the wrong person. My bet is on the first one. Jobs these days are very hard to come by. I tried Walmart and they never got back to me. I tried them at least 4 times. Every time was the same, so I just gave up on that. There's no point to keep trying if they're not gonna even interview me or look at my application or anything. There's no point. I want to try PetSmart, because I pretty much know what I would be doing. I would either be running a register, which I have years of experience doing that, or taking care of the animals, which I have years of experience doing that. So it'd be a win-win pretty much for the company, because I'd already know what the gist of it was. Okay, number 2493. Okay. So 93, burnt orange. Are you gonna cooperate? It does not look like it. This marker has been through the ringer. Yeah, look at that. She is probably done for, if I'm gonna be honest. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay. I've put alcohol in this thing at least 3 to 4 times already, and it's just not gonna work. So I'm gonna have to switch that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we are gonna switch it up and use 87 Azalea Purple instead, because this marker actually works. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So now we have a marker that works. Cool. I wish that burnt orange would have at least worked for a while. I just put rubbing alcohol into that marker a couple months ago, actually, so I figured it would decide to work, but nah. Like I was saying, PetSmart, I would know what to do like right off the bat. It's not that hard to figure out, really. I mean, yes, you are putting a life in your hands because you have to have responsibility, and you have to remember what needs fed, what's already been fed, feed them at night before you leave. Yeah, it's not that hard to understand. When I worked at the pet store that I worked at, which if I would have known their schemes, I would have never decided to work there. I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. I'm not going to say the name of the store because I don't want to be sued. But anyway, yeah, when I worked for the last pet store, it was feed and water the animals, clean the cages, make sure everything had food, everything had water, everything was clean, and run the register as well. If I was in the back, there would be someone else at the front. The managers usually worked in the back, which I was technically a manager before I was let go. I took care of everything in the back, minus the fish. I was never shown how to take care of fish properly. I was never shown how to feed them, how much to feed them. So I never dealt with that. They always, I assume, the owners came in and fed the fish. I hope they did. Because fish are living creatures as well. You know, they deserve to be treated as such. Fish was really popular to sell when I was working there. Usually I had to get the fish when I was working. I hated that. I didn't know what I was doing half the time. I didn't know how to catch certain fish, like rope fish. Oh my god, rope fish are a nightmare to catch. But if a customer wants it, that's what you gotta do. Sometimes I would get so frustrated that I would have to go get someone else to do it for me. I'd get so mad because I just could not catch these fish. There was no point to get mad about it, you know, fish are fish, they don't want to be caught. But you know, I was just like, why do these people have to ask for the most difficult fish to catch? And then they would try to, like, sometimes I get real aggravated because people would be like, oh, I want that one. That specific one. I want that one. And I'm like, you gotta be joking. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You can't just get what you get. I mean, some of them would want females. Some of them would want males. That is okay. But then they would nitpick and they would want a specific female that was going to be impossible to catch. And it is just a nightmare. Like, honest to God, it was a nightmare. Yeah, it was rough. 27. Let me get a lot. Okay, 27 is 28. Which one? 28. 28 fruit pink. But yeah, it was just rough. Yeah. but you know, if people want specific ones, you can't really be like, no, I don't want to do that, because they're a paying customer. You know, you have to make sure your customers are happy. Honestly, when I was working for the pet store, I never had one bad day. Not one. To be honest, when I first started was the hardest part. Because you're just learning how to do everything, what everything needs to be fed, what all needs cleaned every day, every few days. Yeah, it was a difficult time. When I first started, my manager, she was like, well, if you can't do it, I'll have to get rid of you and find someone who can. I don't want to be that way, but... And I was like, no, I understand. Because some people, they don't care. They don't care enough to do it right. I did. And then I got walked all over. That manager that I was talking about, telling me that she would find someone else if I couldn't do it, she was actually let go because she had another job lined up. It wasn't because of anything in particular that day. They told her to turn her keys in and don't come back, because she had another job ready. That's kind of petty, honestly. Like, if she found a better job that she'd be more happy with, it's stupid that you would do something that way. You know, like, I was walked all over by those people, by those owners. I live 30 minutes, 35 minutes away from the place, where it used, or the spot where it used to be before they moved locations. At least 35 minutes away. Okay? And on the weekends, on Sundays, because we were closed on Sundays, they would be like, yeah, Glenna, go ahead and come on in on Sunday and feed the animals, take care of everything. When they lived like 5 minutes from the place, yeah, they wanted me to do it so that they could lay in bed and not have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this is stupid. Let me get a drink right quick. But yeah, it was ridiculous. Alright, number 25 is 9. 9, pale pink. But yeah, it was just crazy. I always thought, they live so close, why can't they do it? More than likely, they just didn't want to. And then, like, they would tell me, yeah, just do the reptiles in the front of the place and we'll come in and deal with the fish. Why can't you just come in and deal with all of it? And then there was a time that one of the snakes had escaped its enclosure. And I was like, oh great, now I get to clean cages, feed him water animals, and try not to get bit. And he was a big snake as well. He was a big reticulated python. He was huge. And they wanted me to come in and feed animals while that thing was out and about. I was like, yeah, that's great. I'll just call Dad and let him know what's going on so that if I die, he'll know what happened. I know it's not going to kill me, but, you know. But yeah, I finally found it. The snake, I found it. It was, let's see, they had a big glass enclosure where you could see like into the back of it where it opened up in the back. Yeah, they had one of those. Not sure if you know what I mean, but that's okay. Yeah, anyway, I was going to feed the guinea pigs that were in there. Or it might have been ferrets. We had both in there at one point or another. But I was going to feed whatever was in there. I believe I was going to start with the hedgehogs. And I just heard a hiss. And I look up, and it's in the top of the freaking enclosures where the light bar would be. And I'm like, you gotta be joking. So I call one of the owners, and he comes down and finally gets it and puts it back in the enclosure. Like it's not gonna escape again. And I'm like, really? Really? Talk about a bad day. Like, it wasn't a bad day. Like, like you don't want to be there. It was a bad day. Like, oh, I could have been bit, and then I'd have been pretty mad. You know, I like snakes, personally. I don't see anything like wrong with them, but I don't particularly want a giant reticulated python to be loose while I'm trying to do my job. You know? And then there was a day that the female boss was there. The female owner. It was a husband and wife that owned the store. And she was there that day. And all of a sudden, I hear her holler, "Hey, make sure you're watching out. There's a spider on the loose." And I was like, you gotta be kidding. I believe it was a tarantula. And at the time, I was scared of tarantulas. I'm not as freaked out by them now, because I actually held one, and it wasn't that bad. But just one just crawling around minding its own business, or even like chasing me, that was a nah. And then we had a bird. Her name was Pearl. She was a sweetheart. I believe she is still alive. One of my tattoo artists actually bought her and has her now. But yeah. That bird, she is an umbrella cockatoo. She was the most nuisance bird I've ever seen. Like, they would be like, oh yeah, you can let her out. Just make sure she doesn't get into anything. And then I would go to put her back in her cage because she would get down on the floor and like, people would try to mess with her, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. Because she knew who we were. Because we worked there. We were there all the time. But when, like, kids and other animals came around her, I just got nervous. So I was like, oh, I'll just put her up, put her back on her cage so that people won't really try to bother her. And she would not go back in her cage. And then we had one. His name was Marty. Ooh, that bird. That bird was violent. Like, actually violent. I don't know how they got him to the other location. I don't want to know. It was probably not pleasant. But he has sent people to the hospital. He is not a friendly bird. And I just, yeah. People would always try to get up real close to him. And there was one that made me pretty mad one day. He had his face stuck up to his cage, and I was like, sir, I don't want him to hurt you. I need you to back away from his cage. He didn't listen. I said it again. His wife had to chime in and say, oh, we got birds at home. Let's leave. We can go look at those birds. I was like, all right, bye. And I went to the back of the store, and I was angry. Apparently the guy heard me talking and assumed I was talking about his wife. Which, no, I was talking about him, not his wife. And he tried to get up and, like, step up on me. And I was like, And the manager or the other person I was working with at the time told me to go to the back. And I did, and she made the guy leave. And, yeah, that was not pleasant. I don't appreciate somebody coming up on me, even if I was talking like I wasn't supposed to be. Talking crap like I shouldn't have been. I'd have fought the guy. Like, if he had kept stepping up on me, I would have fought him. Alright, 732. Okay. 32 deep yellow. Yeah. Anyway. And, there was one time I was there working at the store, and the cops show up. I was like, great, what's going on? And I let them in because, why would you not? they had a warrant to look at the place, see what was going on. And I was like, okay, come on in. And they wanted to see the sick animals. I was like, okay. They went back, they looked. They asked if the animals had ever been to a vet to be checked out. And I said, I'm not for sure, but I think they have. I'm sure they haven't been because they never took anything to the vet. That it would always either just die or it would miraculously get better. Pretty sure they never took anything to the vet. But they did their looking, and then they left. Called the owner, the female owner up, said, "Hey, the cops were just here." And she goes on, she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, da 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 da, I didn't know they were gonna." I was like, She's like, "Yeah, I didn't know they were gonna be there, whatever." I was not that happy. I was like, what in the world? Alright, 26, number 8. So 26, 8, rose pink. But yeah, I was not a happy camper that day. You know, if people are gonna show up, at least let somebody know. Like, if you know the police are gonna be there, just tell me. Send me a text, be like, "Oh, by the way, the cops are gonna be there." And I'd been like, "Oh, great. Cool. Thank you." I mean, if they didn't know, they didn't know. But it's kind of hard to think that they didn't know that they were going to show up to their store on a day that they were closed. Which, you know, cops don't tell people everything, so they might not have known. But anyways, that was a day. A day I wish they would have got their lazy hind ends out of the bed and went theirself. But that's just wishful thinking, really. Wanting them to do something theirself, that's wishful thinking. But yeah, they fired a girl because they suspected her of stealing money. Suspected. They didn't have proof, but they still fired her. And I was like, bruh, that's just messed up. Like, if you don't have proof, why would you fire someone? I don't think she would have done that. And then some woman come in about that same girl and was saying, "Oh, you guys shouldn't let this person work for you. She has her dogs outside tied up on cables and doesn't feed or water them." And I'm like, "Hun, she doesn't even work here, and it's none of my business what she does in her personal life." It's not, really. I mean, I don't have evidence that she does that stuff. it's not my place to interrogate her about that stuff either. And I'm just like, well, either you went early in the morning when she hadn't had a chance to feed her dogs, or she actually does do that. And, still, I can't do something about somebody else's personal life, the way they do things. There's nothing I can do. And if I falsely accuse someone of something like that, what does that say about me? That I'm just an idiot and I'm an a-hole for doing that to somebody if they actually didn't do anything. You can't just jump to conclusions. It'd be easy if you could, but you can't. Number 8, 101. Okay. 101 yellow ochre. But yeah. Even if I thought she did do it, there was nothing that I could have done. And it's not really my place to go to the boss and say anything because it's not my life. If you want something done about it, you have to go to the boss yourself. Don't tell a worker because the workers don't have anything to do with it. The workers are just there for a job, unless you're me and you really enjoyed that job. Okay, so number 13. 13 is 43. Let's see, 43. I believe that would be green. Let's see, 40, yeah, 43. 43 deep olive green. But yeah, I'm just saying, because it's not my business. And then if I was wrong to accuse her, then she could take herself to the manager and tell on me for accusing her of abuse. So I don't really want to risk my job to try to falsely or provenly accuse that person of that kind of thing. It's just not my place. I mean, yeah, I'm very, very, very passionate about animals and their well-beings. But at the same time, what other people do is not my business. Yeah, animal abusers, I would fight them and I would win. And they would have a really bad day. But it's just not for me to worry about. If I saw someone doing it, they would not have a good day. But if I just suspect somebody of doing it and I did that, then I'd probably go to jail. So sometimes you just gotta keep it to yourself. That is the lesson I am trying to teach myself, because at work I get a little bit moody and I talk about people. I really shouldn't do that. I know I shouldn't, but some people just annoy me. I mean, I really shouldn't let people get to me. It's just a lesson that I have to learn the hard way, I guess. Because no matter what I do, I always decide to do it. And I need to not do that. Oh, you're still pretty good on camera here. There we are. I am recording from my watch. I bought an Apple Watch, and I read that you can start and stop videos on your phone with it. And you can. So I pretty much bought it as a recording tool. And it is pretty helpful. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take number 25 again and fill in this little crevice here. But I am hoping to one day have my own pet store and just enjoy it. Yep. All right. I'm just glad that finally my current job has decided to not treat us like middle schoolers, and we are allowed to keep our phones on us. And then my boss is always like, oh, there's a store phone. Oh, there's a store phone. They can call that. No. If there's an emergency, they're not going to call the stupid store. They're not. They don't know the store number. The one that's on Google is incorrect. So no, they're not going to call the store. And then when they try to call that number, that wrong number, they're not going to get a hold of anybody, and they're going to panic even more. So no, I will not leave my phone where I cannot get to it. They make us lock it up in the back room where we do not have access unless we have a key to the door, which only managers do. So, if I'm working and I'm on shift, I'm not leaving my phone in the back where I cannot get to it if my family needs something. No, not a chance. I can quit, or they can let me keep my phone on me. Because I'm not risking somebody needing something, like my mom, my brother, my dad needing someone, and I'm not able to get their call or message, and then something happens and I have to burn that store down. Joking, obviously. I'm not going to burn anything down, but they would probably get sued. I don't know why, but it seems like I'm turning into my coworker. He talks about burning that place down all the time. And I'm like, really? He's joking. But I'm starting to turn into him. Like, I'm not gonna burn anything down. But I'm not gonna be walked all over and treated like I'm in middle school. Phones, for me, are more about if someone needs to get a hold of me. It's not about, oh, I'm gonna play on my phone all day. Oh, I'm gonna just piss around and play on my phone all day. No. My phone is in case somebody needs something. Somebody needs to get a hold of me. They need to talk to me for whatever reason. That is the only reason for my phone to be on me while I'm at work. So, yeah, I don't use my phone really when I'm at work. If I need to call someone real quick, I'll call someone real quick. But other than that, I don't use it. Okay, let me finish this 13 and I'll have to pause. Because I gotta go wake Mom up. And I will get a little bit more on this done. So I will be right back. Alright. We are back. I can't get this cap off of my marker. What in the world? There we go. Jesus. It didn't want to come off of there. Alright. But yeah, I want to have my own pet store so that I can do things right. By right, I mean not getting animals from mills, which is truly horrific. What these animals go through in those mills. It's not good, and I don't know why people still support that stuff, really. I mean, if I wanted something in particular, I'd go to a professional breeder. You know, I wouldn't want to get my animal from a pet mill. Like, the thing is, my rabbit, she could be from a bunny mill. And I'd never know because someone just brought her in one day at the pet store that I worked at. Someone just came in with her and her sister, and I don't know if they were paid after bringing them in or what. I have no idea, really. And I hate to think about that. I mean, she looked in really good health when I got her. And she's been just fine ever since. So maybe she was in a mill, but someone rescued her. I have no clue. Or that lady that brought her in was a breeder herself. I don't know. But what I do know is that I have her now, and she's living the best life that she can. Living the best life I can give her. And when I start making better money, she'll have an even better life. When I'm able to buy a place of my own, it'll just get that much better. Yep. But yeah, if I would have known when before I got the job at that pet store that they got animals from pet mills, I would have never, ever taken that job. Never. I would have found something else. And yeah. Okay. I'm thinking that's all the 13s. Looks like it. This marker does not want to cooperate. Alright. Let's move on to 10s. 48. 48. Here we go. 48 yellow green. I think I'll do the 10s and then I will call it at that. And then what in the world? And then we will be done for the day. I do have another video that I want to make. But for my other channel. All right. And I still have to finish the rest of my my color keys, because I have one set for Ohuhu markers and I have a set that I'm making for Sanjoki markers. Because I want to get these out. I want to get these out more. I don't get them out much. So, yeah. Wouldn't hurt to get these ones out. I probably haven't used these markers in maybe a year or longer. They've just been sitting in my drawer untouched until a couple months ago when I re-swatched them and tried to save some of them, which didn't help with the burnt orange. But it did help with a couple of the other ones. So hopefully those ones are still good. So that I can still use those. And these markers are not open stock. So once they're gone, and you just have to buy another set. But yeah, I always link the products and the coloring books in the descriptions of my videos. Every one of them. I still need to fix the description on a few of them, but I try to stay up to date the best that I can. Usually takes a couple weeks to get the stuff that I use into the description, because I've got to find the best links, so like the best prices for you guys. So sometimes the stuff's not available anymore, so then I can't really put a link to it. So like when I color in my Colortronic books, there is no link anymore because those books are out of publishing for they're out of print nowadays. Yeah, I can't link anything out of print. And then if I find like a used one, you know, I don't want to put that on there and somebody get a used book. I mean, if you guys are cool with that, I could. But I'd much rather have the full book at my disposal. So that I can color all the pages myself and not have any already colored. Yeah. Much more fun to do it yourself. But yeah, this is one of my favorite books that I have. And when Halloween gets closer, or even October, when October comes, or even like the fall season, when that gets here, I can start coloring Halloweenish pictures. I want to color in my creepy cute manga book again. I haven't colored in that in a little while. I colored like one page out of it because the time I got it, Halloween was pretty much already over. So we're going to take the autumn season for all it's worth, and we're going to do Halloween pictures in the fall as well. Because nobody said we can't. And then after fall, when the winter season comes, we can start coloring Christmas pages. I don't really have any new Christmas books. What? Okay. I thought the rabbit was sneezing, but that might have been a noise outside. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure that a little bit ago I had the rabbit out. Okay? Had the rabbit out. She was playing. And I kept hearing little meows. So I'm thinking that my cat's babies are going to come out soon. I hope they do. Okay. So that's all the 10s. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop here. We got quite a bit done. So I'm happy about that. But yeah. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. That's always fun. Also, I will probably have this posted today or tomorrow. I'm not quite for sure yet because I do still have another video I need to make. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys.